Okay, so making another video. I know I don't actually, but I think I've talked about it before. My favorite series, one of my favorite series is Jing, King of Bandits, and I recently just found the purchase to one of his art books, but the rare one, the one that's kind of hard to find. You can find some of his art books and that special edition one on eBay. I don't really know what's different about the white book versus the black book, but there is one copy that is almost close to lost media in a weird way. And I wanted to show it at least because you can't really find it anywhere else on the internet. There's some scans, but there isn't a whole lot. And that's his illustrations, Love Children illustrations. Has the Queen and Amaretto, one shot. This copy is a little dented, but I'll be frank, it's the only copy I could find online for purchase outside of Japan. There's probably more copies in Japan that you could probably find and purchase, but you have to live there, obviously. I don't know if I'll go through every page, but we will just discuss a little bit of it. It's really cool, and I'm not gonna say how much I spent on it because it's probably more than it's really worth. But oh, and here's the poster, by the way, which I think I might want to get. Well, oh, so there's this. I think this is promotional for something else. And I'm being really careful here. But the one we actually care about is the Kumakura poster, which has Jing and all that other cool stuff. So I probably will get this framed or something if I can, just because of how cool it is. It is definitely weird. I'll try to put it back in this little bag so I don't get it all messed up. Just got it today. It took about a month to arrive, which isn't too bad. I've had things take longer. Like, I remember ordering this one Magi volume, and that didn't come in until about 2 years after I ordered it. So, yeah, and then granted that one was, I think, on like backlog or something, or whatever they call it. Honestly, if you don't mind waiting and you can find like legit websites that are safe, obviously, I definitely think it's worth just spending cheaply and just waiting on it to be, okay, it's hard to put this back in there. But if you have the ability to, you know. Obviously things change, so if you're waiting for a package that's gonna come in 3 years, you know, and you move or something, that may be a problem, but I think you can always just call and, you know, get that fixed. Obviously, if you live in America, or the US, I should say, I know a lot of people get kind of pissy with that nowadays. Like, oh, everything is America. The Americas. I'm like, yeah, but only one country is actually called America. So, like, I don't really know what the argument is. If there was another country with America in its name, I would perhaps understand why people get a little upset. But there isn't. And I've never heard a Brazilian or a Peruvian person or anyone in the Latin Americas call themselves American. Ever. Like, they don't. Maybe if they're going to like some country that like nobody ever has heard of like their country before, perhaps I would understand why you'd call yourself American. But I mean, objectively, kind of not. At least in the stature of names, anyway. Okay, so I think I did it. Got it in there. Sorry, that took quite a while. I just really want to be super careful because this isn't just expensive, it's also rather rare. and we'll open it up, and I think we'll just show almost every page really. We got this one. This is probably not the best format to do this in. I might try switching the camera around and seeing if I can, well, okay, that cat's doing something, hold on. Alright, sorry, the cat was kind of messing around, but I can't really switch the camera around. It's on me, but it should be okay. So that was the first page. Oh, I lied, that was not the first. Oh wait, forgot this is a Japanese book. So sorry, that was the first page, you're right. I'm right. Okay. Just mentions the contents. So we have illustrations, the Q&A portion, which is really cool, and then more illustrations. One thing that is really cool about him, Kumakura, it kind of sucks that he never got to do more stuff. I think his art is probably some of the more unique and cool style that really isn't showcased a whole lot in many styles, especially with digital being quite prominent nowadays. I just think he had a lot of really cool stuff. Now granted, I think once you got to like the Twilight years and some of those, the later elements to his art style, it definitely changed to a point where I still like it. There's still elements to it that I enjoy, but I do prefer some elements of the older style as well, but that's just kind of me. So we're gonna go to the next page, which is obviously gonna be our beginning to illustrations, and this is probably stuff you can find on the internet. I know this one is quite popular. I haven't really seen this one before, but we have here, and these are both Jing ones, and they're really nice. It has that geometric style that he's kind of known for in both of them, and that kind of strong contrast of colors as well. I think he does really well with colors and geometry. This one is also very, this is like probably one I would say describes his style the most. Very, like a lot of different sharp edges and shapes, a lot of squares. Like that's kind of the element to his style I really, really like, and I think is really cool. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the beginning to Queen and Amaretto. I think it's kind of like a, perhaps it's more like a spin-off to Jing, or kind of like same world sort of concept, because you can see his cloak, and then we move on to the next thing, which is kind of like the chapter. And we have it here. Now, I believe most of these first few scans are on the internet somewhere. You can find these. They're generally in black and white. They're not super high quality, but you can find them. Ooh, the pages here are not the best, but we'll just keep rolling with it. So, of course, the quality to this could also be from shipping. I don't know if you guys want me to show every single page. It definitely has like that Twilight years style, a little bit cleaner, definitely not as messy. It reminds me a lot of, the guy who drew Eat Man, the guy that like eats metal and like can conjure stuff. There's definitely a resemblance, at least within like the shading elements, I think. Yeah, so this is pretty much just I think this is just a spin-off to Jing and King of Bandits, because she does the same thing. So I believe she's Amaretto, and then that's probably Queen, because Kier is kind of like King, right? Like that's kind of his shtick. I know there was another one. I've not read the series in quite some time, but here it is. I'm not going to translate much because I can't really. It's something son. it? Kui. No. Ki? And then it's what? Oh, I did not read that actually. That's wrong. Oh, I always forget what that symbol means. But yeah, this is pretty much just a spin-off, I think, which would have been really cool if he fully went with it, but he sadly didn't. Here's some more stuff you probably won't find on the internet as well. I don't know, I'll probably translate that later. There's definitely some stains on the inside here, but again, it's kind of hard to complain really because of how rare this thing is and rather expensive it was. Whoa, I'm having like crazy deja vu right now. Well, that happens, I guess. I think I've probably done this before, but oh, this looks pretty nice. Some pretty good art right here. So it's nothing too crazy. It's pretty simple. Okay, yeah, and then it just says to be continued. They have like a conversation with this queen lady, and they do some other stuff. So here's the Q&A section. And here's more of the Q&A. It's a lot, I know. Here's one of the pages. It's probably going to be hard to figure this. You might need to zoom in. Yeah. But it's a lot. I'll probably try to figure out how to read it later, but for now, we're just going to move on. Oh, cool. So this kind of explores some of the timeline stuff, I believe. And oh, here's the illustration. There's some gunk on here. You know, Japan's like the only place where I've bought stuff and they have like some really nasty stuff on their books. I don't really know what's up with that. I've never bought a used book like in the US or from like other places like Germany where they have like weird gunk and yellow stains on them. I just don't get it. What's on them? Luckily this isn't like paper. This is just this is like laminated paper, so I can probably just use saliva to lick it off. Okay. Well, I might need to clean it better later, but I got the main thing off of it. Hopefully the next page isn't too dirty. This one looks really nice. So there's that one. And then we got some more illustrations. This one's pretty cool too. I'm not sure if he got more tired with these or if this was just kind of intentional. It definitely feels a little bit simplistic compared to some of the earlier illustrations you'll find from him. But again, that might just be intentional. This one's really cool. This one's really good. This is kind of like, I think, an homage to the final of the original series. And then, of course, we got one more Cure Royale. So that's pretty much it. It's a rather small book. I thought it would be bigger, but I'm also thinking his other illustration book will also be rather thin. This is mostly just the chapter, and that's about it. I read somewhere that there was 3 chapters, but this is the only form I can find where there's anything of this story at all, the Queen of Amaretto story. I couldn't find anywhere else saying there was like 2 more chapters. Perhaps there was 2 more chapters in the works. I have like no idea. So it's just one of those things, I guess. But this is pretty cool. If, I don't know, not many, I mean, nobody really watches my videos, but if one day this gets found out or something, and people want to have scans of this, I'm willing to scan it and like put it on the internet. Same thing with like anything else rare that I find. I don't have a whole lot of like actually rare or like close to lost material stuff. There's people who've already documented these things online, but you know, it's always nice to have like the actual physical thing, because then you can, you know, obviously scan it, right? Like similarly to Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, I have that on VHS. It looks really nice. Not to say that the videos online don't look good, but some of them are pretty low quality, like 140p. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching that, you know? Beyond that, this is pretty cool. Came out in 2006. It's done by one of my favorite authors, and so, or, you know, authors slash illustrators. It's pretty cool. The other art books I'm thinking of getting is, I know there's one more D. Grayman art book. I have the Nocturne one, I think, and that one's really cool. And I believe there's another one, and then I have Kaori's Yuki, her Angel Sanctuary art book. I think volume 1. I think I need volume 2. Obviously, I'll try to get the other Kumakura art book as well. I think Amano has some stuff, and then maybe Iraqi also has some things as well. And then some other illustrators that I think are really cool are like Katsuya. The Turn A Gundam. That one I really want to get from Akira Yasuda. Yasuda? Maybe it's Yasuda. I think that's probably how you pronounce it. And then who else? Those are kind of it. Amano's pretty cool. I might get another Amano one. I have his like big one, and then the small magazine as well. I don't think there might be a few other ones like Vampire Hunter D, things like that. But not much. Other than that, I've gotten a lot of vinyls. I have like 30 maybe around. It's not a very large collection, rather small, especially in comparison to some people. I can't imagine there's like 1,000 albums one would want to listen to, but perhaps there's maybe like 100. Like maybe 200, 300. I can't imagine more than 500 really. But again, I also can't imagine having more than 1,000 vinyls or records. I mean, what music are you listening to? See, when it gets to that scale, especially with my books as well, I know I have a lot of manga, but I also have a lot of novels. I just bought 2666 by that Spanish author, or Mexican author. Well, I think it was originally done in Spanish, anyway. But you always think, well, you're buying all these books. You get to a point where you buy all your favorites, or you at least get close to buying most of your favorites, and there's like a few that you haven't gotten just yet, or that are a little rarer. And then everything else is kind of just like fluff, or like, it's a cool buy, or a cool pick, or you know, that's objectively like a rarer or harder to find, and it's in decent quality, so you buy it. It's cheap or something, or you know, whatever. And I generally find that to be kind of a similar case when I see people's like large vinyl collections. I'm like, there's no way you actually like most of this music unless you're kind of just you know, a music head, right? I don't think I'm really there yet to being a music head. There's definitely some albums I have that I'm just like, I probably won't ever listen to again, but those are usually really cheap, like $5, $8 album, or you know, records. So like most of my jazz album or jazz records, I'm like, yeah, I'll probably listen to this maybe once or twice, but I probably won't ever put it on again. And then obviously there's like some CD stuff, and I always try to look for cassettes, but man, cassettes are just kind of hard. There's not a whole lot of good ones, and unless you buy them from like Bandcamp or something,
you have to kind of go, like, you can't find them in person is what I'm saying, like, because that's in the real world, they're just not there, you know. So but that's just, I was just talking about some of those records and stuff. I'm not gonna like use this as some diary and jot down what I want to buy in the future or something like that, but I just wanted to mention some of those things. It's similarly to video games as well. I think it's even worse for me when it comes to video games because I mean, I don't even play half of them. Half of them I don't even finish. No, all of them I don't finish. Most of them I play maybe here or there. I have a lot of fighting games, but I don't have anybody to fight with, so it's like, okay. Hey, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. I'll cut it short here. That was a pretty cool book. And yeah, I was pretty happy with it, even though it's rather expensive.